Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as you rightly indicated, yesterday, the Deputy Minority Whip sought leave of the Speaker and the indulgence of the House to raise a matter that he thought was of urgent public importance. Specifically, he raised two issues, one pertaining to some press conference of the Special Prosecutor at the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Secondly, he drew attention to a joint police-military entry into the private residence of the former Minister of Finance, Honorable Ken Oforiatta. Mr. Speaker, the statement drew a lot of debate, following some commentary, and I promised this House that I will carry out some investigation to try and appreciate the circumstances surrounding the joint police and military entry into the private residence of the former Minister of Finance. In making this statement today, let me indicate that as a country and as a parliament, we have a constitution to uphold. That constitution has embedded in it fundamental human rights, including the right to one's privacy, the right to the integrity of one's property, and His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama remains committed to ensure that the rights and liberties of every individual is respected or are respected. Mr. Speaker, secondly, I make this statement on the basis of the commitment of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to reset this country, which means that everybody must act in compliance with the law and the mandate of institutions. And so I have called the relevant stakeholders in the matter to find out exactly what happened. Mr. Speaker, it is true that the private residence of the former Minister of Finance was entered into by operatives of the military and the police led by the somebody who we believe works at the National Security Coordinator's Office. Mr. Speaker, his name is Mr. Jakwa. Mr. Speaker, we have investigated the matter, and we want to say and assure our fellow countrymen and our colleagues in this House that we have received assurances from the Office of the National Security Coordinator that it was not intended that that should happen, and that occurrence is most regrettable and unfortunate, and he wants to give this House his word and assurance that a thing like that should never happen again. Mr. Speaker, I have also spoken with the Minister of Interior, who has spoken with his IGP, and I've spoken with the Minister of Defense, and all of them give their assurance to this House that a thing like that will not happen again. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me indicate to my colleagues on the other side that this side of the House remain committed to ensuring that this country is reset that its institutions function properly, that its officials act in accordance with the law, and that the rights and liberties of every citizen are upheld and protected under the regime of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I personally extend my apologies to the former Minister of Finance, and I believe that this should suffice. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Majority Leader. I will now invite the Honorable Minority Leader for his comment.
Mr. Speaker, the man Mahama Ayariga is making his name in the politics of our country, is exemplary and must be commended. Mr. Speaker, I have not slept on this matter. He was taken to the south, I was taken to the north gate in ensuring that this matter was resolved. Mr. Speaker, what he has done today reminds me of what Honorable Attorney General did in 2015. In 2015, as a practitioner, I was all over the place. I'm leading a mighty few. And Honorable Ayariga in ECOWAS Parliament is known as a sincere partner when it comes to resolving conflicts, and he's demonstrated it here. So, my respected leader, I want to assure you that our side would engage you constructively. Let's do the politics in a very decent way. Let's respect each other. Let's use words that are complimentary. Hold those who are the lowest ebb up and bring them up. If somebody is making a mistake, you go to the person and say, look, you could do it better. If somebody does it well, compliment. Let's celebrate each other. In the end, our principles will remain. I'm an MPP, proudly so. You are an NDC, proudly so. Don't let us use this platform to denigrate even our leaders. Sometimes the way we go after our leaders, the little said about it, the better. We use unprintable words. And let me caution all of us. The 2024 elections, check the percentage turnout. In Central, we didn't go beyond 60%. In Volta, around the same figures. In Ashanti, Upper East, Upper West, Greater Accra, the mighty Greater Accra, and they would go scot-free. If there is anything against any past government official, due process must be followed. And I'm sure all of us will have peace. My respected colleague, extend to His Excellency the President of the Republic the assurances of the minority that with this, we will also accord him every courtesy due him as President of the Republic. We would cooperate and oppose when we have to oppose. After all, our duty is to oppose you. And we can work together as a people to represent our people and for our people to learn from us and to teach us and to train us and to help us to advance this democracy. I want to conclude, Mr. Speaker, by saying that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, as at this morning, I had an extensive engagement with him. He's traumatized by the labeling of this adjective described to his person. but he still knows that his God is with him. He's undergoing some medical procedure. In fact, I had an early morning engagement with the chief of staff who confirmed that indeed Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta wrote to him and he's in receipt of the letter. He was very sincere in telling me that. So within reasonable time, I'm sure he would come. I will also engage the office of the special prosecutor, engage constructively, assure him and his office that if there was any miscommunication, I, as a leader of my side, is assuring him that the man will make himself available. He left the country with permission. He would come, and if there is anything that has to be investigated, he will make himself available. It's not easy to serve your country, and I'm sure all shall be well for the good of us all. Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank once again the Majority Leader.
Now, members, let me use the opportunity to thank both the Majority and the Minority Leader for setting an exemplary life. Honourable members, this is the way we are supposed to go. My prayer is that we lived by the promises given us and we conduct the proceedings of the House with decorum and decency. I thank you. I will then call on Honorable Nana Asafo Aje Aye, Member of Parliament for Bosomi Freho constituency, to present his statement.
Thank you, the Speaker. I want to thank you for this opportunity and also thank the good people of Bosomi Freho for allowing me to represent